All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Ram Report for a Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends down south of the border. It is Thursday, November 25th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by HockeyPicks.com. Anybody can play, anybody can join. Follow the top scorers each and every day right here at HockeyPicks.com. In fact, let's go take a look at our top scorers right now. Yours truly, Ron Raymond, is at 900 points. We got Flash Kevin at 842, and the Great 10, Enrique Montero, 835, and those are your top pickers right now at HockeyPicks.com. And also, we also have a basketball site at bballpicks.com, and you can play here each and every day by making your picks. Follow your picks and other pickers right here at bballpicks.com, HockeyPicks.com, two of the best sites for getting free picks. All right. No free picks today because there's no basketball, no hockey today, so it's all NFL. Today's show is dedicated to the NFL. We're going to talk about those three games here tonight. Today, starting at noon kickoff, and then we will head into maybe we also got a couple of college football games, so we'll talk about those. But let's say good morning to Arthur's in the house. Good morning, Arthur. There's Sniper. Sniper's in the house. Hopefully you guys are having yourself a good start to your day. And again, if you are tuning in for the very first time, my name is Ron Raymond. I'm a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. In 2009, I wrote the book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets, which you can also get on Amazon. But why we'll go to Amazon when you can get it right here at atsstats.com. Go to Tools, go to 50 Greatest Secrets, and then from here, you will see the book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets, and you get it for just a low price of $24.99 right here at atsstats.com. And if you're looking to learn more about the ATS tutorials, the sports betting system, you can get it right here by going to Tools, ATS tutorials, and you can get it right here. Learn the new sports betting system of the Rain Report. New, I say it's new, but it's about 5 years old, and you can get it and see the tutorials right here at atsstats.com. All right, I see the crew and the Ramblers and Gamblers are stumbling in. Good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends down south of the border. Hope you guys have a great start to your day, and leave some room for some good turkey and maybe some pumpkin pie later on. But we'll be watching all the football games with you guys and enjoying the this. Every time I see Happy Thanksgiving or the start of the Thanksgiving, then you know it's the kickoff of the holidays, right? It's the only thing missing here is snow, but we can wait for that. I'm not in a hurry to get the snow yet here in Ottawa. It's a balmy 1 degrees here. It's overcast Ottawa, but you know what? I'll take it right now, and hopefully, we'll see what happens on the rest of the day. All right, there's my good friend Armando de los Santos. Good morning and God bless Raymond Report, baby boy. Thank you, Armando. Appreciate you. Are you living from betting, says Arthur. Well, I've been doing this 24 years, so if that's what you call a living, I guess so, right? Patrick Gonzalez, good morning, Patrick. And again, welcome everybody to the show. Today's show is dedicated to the Thanksgiving Day games, and we'll talk about those two college football games also. And let's take a look at the free horse racing tip sheet of the day. If you go under horses and you like to bet the ponies, go to free tip sheet. And today's free tip sheet is Del Mar Racetrack in California. And you can get all the racetracks all for free right here at atsstats.com. And you can just go under horses, go to free tip sheet. And today's free tip sheet is Del Mar. And look at that. And the first horse today, melting snow. That's what we got here in Ottawa, melting snow. And you can get all the tip sheets for free for horse racing today at Del Mar right here at atsstats.com. All right, before we get into those three football games, I'm going to talk about the market value index. In fact, let me go to the SBI right here, and let's go to the sports betting index. Boom. And this is my Dow Jones Industrial. This is where I check every week to see what has come in the NFL and NHL, MLB when it's we're in season, NBA, everything that's coming in. And you can see last week, after 3 weeks of neutral of the favorites coming in the last 3 weeks. Last week, first time in a while since week 7 that the favorites really cashed in. In fact, the favorites won 66.7% of their games compared to 33.3% for the underdogs. And the under, look at the under last week. In fact, the under has been coming in the last 2 weeks, 66.7%. And you're starting to see the injuries, right? You know, when you start losing, a starting running back, a starting quarterback, your top receivers down. You're getting holes on the offensive line. Linebacker missing. When you're doing your handicapping and we're so geared towards offense, right? And I don't think a lot of attention is given to defense. And when you're handicapping football, and if you look at all three aspects of a defensive unit, you got the defensive line, you got the middle defense, you got the linebackers, and then you got the secondary, right? You got your halfbacks, your corners, and your free safety. And depending on the team you're facing, if you're a run-heavy team that you're facing that week, then you got to look at the D-line and the linebackers, right? And then if you're going up against a high-flying offense, then you got to take in consideration some of the secondary. And, some of these secondaries, like I'll give you an example, right? A guy like Richard Sherman, who patrols the secondary as a corner, there's no way he can go man-to-man anymore at his age, right? And the thing is, once you handicap in these games and you're looking at defensive secondaries, check the ages of some of the corners. It's just, when you get older, unfortunately, you get a little bit slower, right? And this is where defense coordinators, depending on the system they use, they'll either go in a cover 3 system, meaning a zone system, where the halfback, they play cut and hold. Cut means that the corners will stay low and grab the flats, where the halfbacks will take the high thirds. But these are some of the things that you can learn in football, and that's what you get with the Raymond Report. Being an ex-coach, I can tell you some of the the strategies when it comes to defense, right? So when you're looking at football, and again, we are so geared towards offensive play. Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. Nobody talks about the trenches, right? Nobody talks about the big uglies, as they're called in the trenches, right? The big uglies, and any football players out there are probably laughing right now, because that's what you call your linemen, your O-line and D-line, the big uglies. And then you got the linebackers, right? Linebackers, running backs. In all the years of 24 years I coach football, the two positions that I have a soft spot for these guys, it's the running backs and linebackers. And I'll tell you why. Nobody crashes more than those two positions, linebackers and running backs. When I was coaching football, and I used to tell all the players, hey, if a running back if a running back needs a day off, give him a day off. It's not like the prima donna receivers who go out in the corner and doing their one-on-ones and running, and some of these receivers don't even want to block, right? And then you got running backs just full throttle, going head first into the line of scrimmage and full contact. If you played the position of running back, you probably understand the smacking around that goes on in the trenches, right? And so I do have a lot of respect for running backs and linebackers, because of all the positions. When you think of O-line, D-line, they're going head to head, and there's not even a yard in the NFL, right? In the American game, there's no yard. In the Canadian game, you got to give a yard at the line of scrimmage. But running backs and linebackers, two of the toughest positions. And man, if you see a running back who can play all 16 games, my hat goes off to all those running backs, because it's a really tough position to play. But again, when you're handicapping defense, take a look at the type of team you're facing. Take a look, if it's a passing team, take a look at the secondary. Take a look at the ages of the corners, right? You get some old corners who just can't keep up in man-to-man coverage, and that's why when you go in zone coverage, you're open up to strengths and weaknesses, right? All right, so there's a little football 101. Now let's take a look at the point spread here for the favorites and the underdogs the last week. 53.3% of the favorites covered last week. In fact, when you do the math right here, 8 and 7, well, pretty balanced when you look at it that way. But so let's see what's going to happen here today. You know what? The favorites have yet to win a week. When you look at the ATS column right here, all the neutrals, meaning it's pretty balanced when it comes to favorites and underdogs. All the red mean the favorites. These are days for so of the 11 weeks of football, only 4 weeks have underdogs taken the week, right? And the rest has been it's been neutral. So eventually the favorites are going to cover all week. Maybe today it starts today, right? So keep an eye out on that. So I see my buddy Scotty Bears in the house. Good morning, Scotty. And who else am I seeing here? Armando, yeah, we said good morning. Roderick, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving, Roderick. And Mark Nady, any thoughts on why Ole Miss a dog today just because Mississippi State at home? You know what? If you follow the Mississippi State games, Mike Leach has got those guys playing some really good football. And no, that's not a mistake. Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, they're a good team, and they're playing really well. All right, let's take a look at the games here today. And before we look at the Thanksgiving Day games, here's the market value index. And here's this is where I look at, I always say things go in cycles, and I'm doing a study right now. I talk about analytics, right? And when I talk about analytics and computer picks and all that stuff, the one thing that we don't take in consideration in analytics are bad games, right? When you think about analytics and you think about the computer picks and you're taking information from every game, the line, the scores, the results, the one thing the analytics don't really tell you is when teams are coming off bad games, right? And this is where I'm doing a bit of my study and saying, you know what? Analytics are nice, and it gives you an idea on the perception of what the line or the game should be. But I think what really needs to be researched is when you're handicapping, when do you include? I talk about all the time the percentage play, right? Bad games. When do analytics will tell you just basically what the forecast and what the previous results were. But how do you predict when a team or a player is going to have a bad game? You can't predict that, right? So these are the things you got to include into your handicapping. It's like, okay, analytics, okay, this is like a general default of what the perception of the line and the results should be at the end of the game. But, you don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to get injured in the second quarter. You don't know if Zeke Elliott's going to, sprain his ankle in the first play of the game. And these are things, your starting quarterback goes off. And when you get a team that just goes on a good run, everything I say it all the time in these shows, right? You can't win forever and you can't lose forever, but there's a perception of the game where you got to include good games and bad games, and you got margin of error, right? And maybe it's a margin of something where you're saying, okay, look, margin of point spread covering. There's just no way teams cannot continue to be constantly going on these streaks of winning and covering the spread and covering the over. So yeah, this one thing I'm working on a new tool, a perception tool that in factors that, right? So I'll show you guys eventually when I come to a conclusion. But yeah, so there's something to chew on. When I saw this right here, I said, all right. So here's the market value index, and as you can see in the NFL, and this here again, going back to like teams can't win forever, teams can't lose forever, and there's a perception out there on which teams do very well in so far week 12. And when I say the Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins, look at the Dolphins all of a sudden, right? On a 3-game win streak. Kansas City, New England. What comes to mind right away, right? It's the old Jaden and Jackson song. What have you done for me lately? And these are the teams that have done very well, in their last couple of games, right? And the one thing that we do as sports bettors is we always look, the last game. We think of the Colts. Oh, they clobbered the Bills. No one saw that coming. Miami. Okay, Miami took care of business their last game. Who was it? They played the Jets. Kansas City. New England. When you look at these teams right now, right, you're thinking, everybody's talking about New England being the team to beat now, the AFC. Oh, but not too fast. Here comes Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Just, put a woodshed game on the Dallas Cowboys, right? So those things, it's just week to week, man. Everything changes in the NFL. I've never seen parity so unpredictable. Yeah, that's the perfect word. Everything is so unpredictable right now in the NFL, right? But that's what makes it great. That's what makes sports betting. And, I always say you got to adjust on the fly. If you don't adjust on the fly and you don't make any adjustments to the way you handicap, then what's the definition of insanity? So so you got to really be good at making an adjustment. Now look at this here. Now I showed you the teams that are very bullish right now. Here are 4 teams, okay, that I just showed you. The only team that really surprised me here is Miami, a C-type team, are in a bullish cycle right now. And again, everything goes through cycles. And when I look down here, look at these. So the 5 teams that are bearish, they're all playing today. 4 of the 5 teams, Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints, Oakland Raiders, Jets, and Lions. Of all these 5 teams that are bearish, meaning they're going through a bad cycle right now, these are teams that are playing on Thanksgiving, right? The networks are probably saying, man, I hope none of these teams are playing. Well, guess what? You're getting 4 of the 5 today on Thanksgiving. So, hey, but here's the thing. Unpredictable, right? And now the contrarian way of thinking, when I look at on top here, Colts, Miami, Chiefs, Patriots, none of these teams are playing here today. So these teams here, the bookmaker sees this. What do you think is going to happen, right? Let's keep an eye out on today. So the Bears, that works its way out. So eventually one of these teams are going to be all right. But the Saints against the Bills, and then the Raiders against the Cowboys, right? Now, when you think of the perception, right, what's the perception out there? Oh, Dallas should take care of the Raiders. Raiders have only scored 14 points in their last 3 games. That's the perception, right? That the Raiders will lose to the Cowboys, perhaps. And then you got the Saints taking on the Bills. Now, the Bills losing last week to the Colts. But, the thing, people are saying, oh, the Bills are going to get on track here today. Well, not so fast, eh? As Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. Because now the Saints are coming back home. Now, the Saints are coming off 2 back-to-back road games. And now they're playing on a Thursday night, preview primetime game. Everybody's watching. And you got a great head coach in Sean Payton going up against McDermott of the Buffalo Bills. But we'll break down that game in just a few minutes. But again, when I talk about let me see if I can say again another third time. There you go. There are 3 agains in a second right there. But we'll see how the market value index plays out here today. Again, I think that this is going to be uncontrollable. I got to stop saying the word again, right? Hey, when you do these podcasts, you pick up on these little things. But we'll see what happens here today. All right, let's get on with the matchups, and let's go to the first game between the Lions and the Chicago Bears. And looking at the lines on this game, now Chicago a 2.5-point favorite. The over/under at 41.5. And let me see if you guys are still awake out there. I know I get on these rants and I feel like I lose the audience, eh? I get the deer in the headlights look. What's he talking about? Happy Thanksgiving, Derek. Okay? I see a lot of people tuning in right now. So good morning, everyone. And don't forget, subscribe. And if you like the show, please hit that like button. All right, let me see. We're at 16 minutes in, having done the first game here. All right, so the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. Now the Bears, a 2.5-point favorite. The over/under is set at 41.5. Now the forecast, here's the thing. This is the computer forecast, and I took a look at the system forecast. And again, I'll go back to the opening monologue of my rants on analytics, right? Analytics don't tell you, they just tell you from the past, right? You can always learn from the past, and it's perception, right? What's the perception on what the outcome should be, right? And when I look at the system forecast and I look at the computer picks, now if you're saying for the first time and you're tuning in, you're saying, Ron, what is computer picks and what is your system forecast? The computer pick is when Chicago is a 2.5-point favorite. The total is between 41.5 to 44.5. They're coming off a loss. What's the previous Chicago Bears team's record average in the next game, right? So it's 25.31 when you break down all the formulas that we use. Same thing for Detroit. When Detroit's a home underdog of Pick'em to +3, totals between 41 to 44.5, coming off a loss. Go get all the data from the past, and it's only Detroit. Now, the system forecast tells us any team. So when I click on, look at that, there's 342 situations. So when I go here and I click on Chicago, and it tells me, all right, let's go get all these situations from the past of any NFL road favorites of Pick'em to -3. The total is between 41.5 to 44. Look at the forecast and the outcome of all these games down here. Look at that, 300, what did I say, 42 or something like that? And if you scroll right down to the bottom, it'll give you all the teams' records. 180 and 61 for 52.6% for the favorites. Against the point spread, not too good, 44.7. And the over-under record, 43.8% a chance of this game. Let me see, that's over-under. So that means 43% of the games went over, meaning a 57% chance of this game going under the total today. All right, so when I look at the forecast, I got 23-21. Now, when I look at the computer pick forecast, the computer tells me a little bit, almost the same story, 25-21, right? So I'm looking for consistency, and if I do the total right here, 44, and look at the totals at 41, and when I look at this one, it's at 46. And I'm going to show you I was doing some research this morning on this game. Check this out. The last 3 years, road teams playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit, the over is 15-6 to the over. So let me repeat that. Any NFL teams playing in Detroit the last 3 years, the over is 15-6. And when you look at Detroit right here, coming off a loss, 12-5 to the over the last 3 years. So I got a lot of numbers pointing towards the over here today. I'm going to play Chicago money line, and I'll tell you why. When I look at the starting quarterbacks for the Chicago Bears, you got Andy Dalton, and then what do you got on deck? Then you got Nick Foles on deck, right? But when you look at Detroit now, Jared Goff is questionable, and let me see what the latest is on Jared Goff. It says oblique is in line to start Thursday's game against the Bears, so he's questionable. He should start. Now, what happens if Jared Goff goes down, right? Tim Boyle and David Blow. All right, so Nick Foles, damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? It's like you just hope the starting quarterbacks can go on. But if any of these starting quarterback goes down, then you start looking, okay, which one do I feel more comfortable with? Do I feel more comfortable going Nick Foles, or do I feel comfortable going with Tim Boyle, right? And when I look at Tim Boyle's number, he hasn't played anything this year. Right? It's been, it's 3 for 4. Let me see. No, 15 for 23 this year, 65.2%, but that's garbage time, right? So I think Chicago. Now we all know the Matt Nagy situation. The hot seats on Matt Nagy, but Dan Campbell needs a win, and for Detroit, this is their Super Bowl. Let's be honest. This is Detroit's Super Bowl today. It seems to be their Super Bowl every last 10 years on Thanksgiving, right? So what kind of game are we going to get here today? With the numbers that I just showed you, we could get a high-scoring game, but that means you think the offense will contribute to the high-scoring affairs, right? But when I look at some of the numbers down here, look at this. Any road favorites on 3 days rest this year, 0-5 to the under, and same thing with home dogs, and the favorites are 4-1 straight up. So if I'm going to play anything on this game here today, beer pizza money on the Chicago Bears. All right, let's go to game number 2 between the Dallas Cowboys and the Raiders. We're going 21 minutes. So I promised myself I wouldn't pass 30 minutes today on the show. So this way we don't do long shows. I don't keep you guys hostage here. But I will do other videos today. I'll do the college football videos. So people are wondering, hey, where's this college football stuff? I'll do another video and I'll load it up in a few minutes. So Dallas taking on the Raiders. Now the Raiders, again, going into this game, a 7.5 point underdog. The over-under is set at 51.5. Forecast leaning with the Cowboys in this one, 37-20. Now that's the computer pick. And when I look at the system forecast, I got 30-22. So again, the over might be worth a look here. I got the Cowboys winning by 8 on the system forecast, and we have the Cowboys winning by 17 on the computer pick, right? But when you look at the Raiders, man, it's just ever since the Gruden thing, you had that little honeymoon game right after the Gruden firing, but then it's been downhill since, right? 32-13 against the Bengals, 41-14 spanking against the Chiefs, 23-16 against the Giants. Like, if you lose to any of the New York teams, you could be the next guy fired, right? You shouldn't be losing to New York football teams right now. And then the win against the Eagles. But when you look at the Cowboys, a loss against the Chiefs, 19-9. Competitive game. It was you can't fault the defense. The defense did their job, held Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to 19 points. The offense was anemic, 9 points only, right? And then you look at the game after that, the Falcons. They took care of business against the Falcons, and then the Broncos. Maybe created a blueprint on how to beat the Cowboys after that great start. And now looking at some of the other numbers down here on today's game, and a lot of check marks here on the Raiders, but nothing. Again, perception versus reality, right? And when I look at this, and here's a number that was pretty interesting. Any NFL teams this year coming off 4 unders, 13-6 against the point spread in their next game. I do like the Cowboys here. I just don't know if I want to lay 7.5. But I do agree with this forecast here. 30-22 chance of winning, 61.5% chance of winning, and you got 58.5% chance of covering, though, favoring the Raiders, and based on 41 games, right? So chance of winning favors the Cowboys at 61%, but the chance of covering does favor the Raiders at 58.5, 46.1. Again, this is a hard game to handicap. When you look at the conditions of both these teams, they're both coming in limping. And when I look at the starting lineup for, let me take a look at the Dallas Cowboys right now. So when I look at the quarterback position, looks all right. Zeke Elliott, is he going to be okay? Listed as a full participant Tuesday in practice. We know we saw that ankle injury there on the sideline against Kansas City. Amari Cooper, yeah, Jerry's not too happy with Amari right now. CeeDee Lamb bumped his head. Now, that's two big pieces of the puzzle for Dak Prescott. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Cowboys. Look for Tony Pollard to have a big game here today. And when you look at the Raiders, it's been a tough go, right? Derek Carr, you gotta like Derek Carr. The guy just competes and he does his best. Josh Jacobs, very sporadic, has a good game, bad game type thing. But when you look at the Raiders, everything goes through Waller, right? And if you're the Cowboys, just find a way to slow down Waller and Jacobs, and then you got yourself a victory. So that's, if I'm a coach, defense coordinator, all right, maybe we find a way to, he's going to get his catches. Waller's going to get his catches. How do we slow him down so he doesn't beat us on anything deep? Because that's his only really deep threat when you look at those games, right, against the Raiders. So I do like the Cowboys here today. I just don't know if I want to lay 7.5 points. All right, let's take a look at the last game of the evening between the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints. And let me see here, just before I do that, I want to say good morning to, I see Miss Denica. How you doing, Miss Denica? Mark Nation. Oh, yeah, so we now have a 24/7 Discord live stream located. So if you look at our live stream chat, Sniper is going to be hosting Discord. And first of all, I got to learn how to log on to a Discord. I think I've done the Discord once and twice, but I'll have to go check that out. But if you guys want to follow the Random Report Discord, Sniper's got the link right there in the bullpen. All right, Jeffrey Bradshaw. Good morning, Jeffrey. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have yourself a great day, Jeffrey. And let me see, make sure I don't miss anybody. Miss Denica, I didn't get my live notification. Oh no, that's man, I don't know what's going on with that. I think I put the schedule too late. Maybe that's why. But hopefully the people who missed the broadcast will get the live show. But you know what? Just remember, I try to go live every day at 10:30. All right, so we got the Bills taking on the New Orleans Saints. Now Buffalo, 6.5 point favorite. The over-under at 44.5. ATS forecast, computer pick, going to lean with the Bills in this one, 29-25. When I look at the forecast here, I got 24-17. Again, I like this forecast a little bit better. 24-17 has them winning by here 7, and a 68.8% chance of winning for Buffalo, and a 59.09% chance of covering the spread. But I'm going to show you some numbers on the under. Now, when I look at the Buffalo Bills, people are saying, Josh Allen, what's going on? There's nothing wrong with Josh Allen. You know what's wrong with Josh Allen is he doesn't have a running game to help him, a complement. I always say a quarterback's best friend is a great running game. And right now, the Buffalo Bills running game is absolutely MIA, missing in action. And I've been saying this, I talk to my buddies, I'm a Bills fan. I said, we got no running back. Like, if we don't have a running game, we're not going anywhere. When you look at all the Super Bowl champions, and there's always, I call it the triplets, right? You got a good quarterback, a good running back, and a good receiver. Right now, we probably got 2 of the 3 ain't bad, right? A good meatloaf song right there. Until Buffalo gets a real good running back, consistent and reliable running back, Buffalo's never going to win another Super Bowl, not ever. They won't go to a Super Bowl. They won't make the playoffs. They won't make the Super Bowl. They'll probably make the playoffs, but they're never going to go far in the playoffs because when you get to December, November, cold weather games, especially in Buffalo, you can't run the ball in Buffalo in December, January, and you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, right? So, so that's the problem in Buffalo right now. No running game. Good defense, very good defense. But if you don't get a running game to complement Josh Allen, and don't ask Josh Allen to do quarterback option, read options all the time, RPOs, right? He's not he can do it, but you're going to really hurt this guy eventually down the road if you just keep calling his number. Like, hey, even great players like, man, can we give the ball to someone else for an instance? Like, can I get a break here? But New Orleans Saints, Jameis Winston goes down, and, I don't know what's going on with Taysom Hill. I thought he was supposed to be the guy coming up, but not sure what's really going on with that situation. I know he's more of a wildcat quarterback, and he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything, but Trevor Siemian is not the unfortunately is not the answer for the Saints. And when you look at the starting lineup for today, Siemian, and then you got Alvin Kamara's out. Mark Ingram's questionable. This game just screams the under today, right? And when I look at the New Orleans Saints coming off back-to-back road straight-up losses since 1983, look at that, 3-14 to the under. I think the under is where you want to go here today. And when I look at the Bills and the Saints, I just think they got two good defenses, but the offense, it's like flipping a quarter every week, right? Which offense is going to show up? Are we going to get an offense that's going to put some points on the board, or are we going to get, look at the last 3 games, 25 points a game. New Orleans is pretty consistent, and they averaged 30 points at home this year, where Buffalo averaging 31 points on the road. The last 2 games, though, 22 points a game, right? And every time I see the averages like that, I want to see if there's a game. When I see the Bills 45 games, it's almost you got to take the top average out. So take the 45, because that really manipulates the averages in the last 3 games. And you look at the Bills last 3 games, take this one out, you got 26, 6, and 15. And if you look at the Saints, 29, 21, 25. That's pretty consistent right there. But I think the under is where you want to go here today between the Bills and the Saints. And it's just which Bills team is going to show up, right? The thing that when I look back at the Bills, ever since this game right here against the Chiefs, it's as if they thought they win the Super Bowl that day, right? It's as if like the rest of the games they don't matter. And if you watch the reports and you watch the post-game conference and you watch after they beat the Texans 40-0, Josh Allen says, all right, we're on to the next one. The big one's the next one. Well, okay, you got the job done against the Chiefs, but now, that's not the Super Bowl. That's week 6. You know what I mean? It's week 6 in NFL, and they're acting like they just won the Super Bowl after the Chiefs game, and they've been average ever since, right? Below average, to be honest. When you lose to Jacksonville, you're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to say, but that was the red flag right there. Losing to Jacksonville, that's all I got to say. That's a drop the mic moment right there. Have you ever gone over any horse race stuff? I'm actually heading out to Hoosier Park Racetrack in Indiana, as well as my bunch of DeGen, says Tyler McCoy. I don't know if I have any Hoover Park. What is it? Hoosier Park? Is that it must be a is it thoroughbred, or is it harness racing? Let me see if I got any premium tipsy on Hoosier. I don't know if I got Hoosier Park. I don't ever think I've seen that. Hoosier Park. Let me see. Today's the 25th. I got Charlestown, Churchill Downs, Delmar, Golden Gate. I got Kentucky Oaks Futures, Laurel Park, Woodbine. No, I got no Hoosier Park. Is that Hoosier Park? Is that a harness racing, or is it? We got thoroughbred. I just don't have harness. That's the only thing I don't have. Is that? All right. Hail Mary only showing consensus. Can you select your picks? Yeah, I'll go do my picks after at Hail Mary picks. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you guys here today. 29 minutes. That's good. That's a good show. Yeah. See, I don't do harness. We just do thoroughbred there, Tyler. Sorry about that. But hey, bet the one horse, eh? Always a double Dutch betting system. My favorite way of betting the horses is called the double Dutch betting system. So let's say you got 7 horses in the race, and the one horse is like 5-1 or 10-1. I'll put 10 to win, 10 to place on the one horse. So this way he comes in second, you get paid. And if he comes in first, you get paid twice, right? That's my way of betting the ponies. All right, folks, there you have it. That is the rain report for a Thanksgiving Day Thursday. I know it's a bit of a short show, but that's the way we're doing it now. And I'm going to do other videos today. I've already got 3 videos up. I'm going to do more videos on college football. In fact, before I go, let me go to the college football forecast to get you those 2 games for today. So this way, if you're wondering who's going to win the college football games today, so let's go to the games. So the first game, you got Fresno State against San Jose. -7.5 is the line here on the Bulldogs. You'll run under at 52.5. The forecast going with Fresno State here, winning by 11, 29-18, and 84.6% chance of winning on the Bulldogs. And you can see right here for Mississippi and Mississippi State, yeah, we got the Bulldogs winning 31-30. We got Mike Leach and the Pirates winning this one 31.9, so basically 32-30. So we got them winning by 2, but we got Mississippi State, Ole Miss covering, right? So we got the Bulldogs winning, but we got Ole Miss covering, and you look at the chance of covering the spread, 50.6% for the Rebels, 41.6 for the Bulldogs, and that's based on 77 games for Ole Miss and 12 games for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. All right, folks. Hey, Gloria. How you doing, Gloria? Happy Thanksgiving to Gloria K. And let's have a very lucky day and weekend. And thanks for tuning in to the Rain Report each and every day right here at the YouTube channel. In the meantime, enjoy your Thanksgiving Day festivities in the United States. Hope you guys have a safe day, and I'll be back here on a live broadcast tomorrow for Football Friday. In the meantime, shop for value.